Forgot to hit record. So we're going to take that and plug it in plug it in there. That's going to give us 300 times m minus 12 plus 1400 m equals 40,600. What would you do to solve that equation? Get rid of the parentheses. So 300m minus 300 times 12, 3,600 plus 1400m equals 40,600. I can add 300m and 1400m makes 1700m. Minus 3600 is 40,600. Add the 3600 to both sides. 1700m equals, that's going to be 44,200. M is, I take 44,200, I divide it by 1,700, and I get $26. So the main tickets cost 26. If the main is 26, how much is the balcony? 14, $12 left. Less. Questions on that?
Is that 47,000?
What's that?
I had 46,000 plus the 36, right?
Yep. So that's where I got the 44,200. All right, let's take a look at number 2.
Wait,
Number 2 says, for a standard phone line, 2 phone companies are considered. Sprint charges 3 cents per minute long distance and has a monthly fee of $13.95. Horizon charges 4 cents per minute and has a monthly fee of $9.49. How many minutes of long distance minutes will the 2 companies have the same total monthly bill? If you expect to use more than the number of minutes, which company would you choose? All right, so once again, what am I looking for? 2 equations, probably. Seems reasonable since we're in the chapter that has 2 equations in it. Seems a reasonable guess. You would need 2 equations. Do I have 2 variables? Yes, okay. If I have 2 variables, what are they?
H and S.
Which H?
Horizon.
Horizon and S is?
Sprint.
Sprint. Those are kind of variables, but I don't think that's exactly what we're looking for. When we get all done, what are we looking for?
How much the prices?
We're looking for the prices, that's true. What else are we looking for? Somewhere in there it says how many
How many minutes can you use the same?
how many minutes. So what are we looking for? Minutes. So we want information about the minutes and we want information about the price. I think those are our 2 variables really. Minutes and price. So I think I would use M is number of minutes and P is price. So I think I'm going to come up with 2 equations based on the 2 companies. And I just noticed that says splint, not sprint. Must have hit a wrong key there. All right, so for splint, what does it cost if I decide I want to use Splint as my phone carrier?
$13.95 plus 3M.
It costs me $13.95 just to get the phone set up, plus I think it needs to be 0.03 M. Why 0.03 M?
It's 3 cents.
3 cents
30
per
cents.
minute.
Gotcha.
So Splint charges me $13.95 right up front just to have the phone in my house, and then every time I make a long distance call, they charge me extra. Conversely, how about Horizon? If I pick Horizon, what's the price going to be?
$9.49.
Cost me $9.49 just to get the phone in my house. But then every time I make a call, what are they going to do? 0.04 M. So Horizon's cheaper to have the phone, but the calls cost more. All right, so I think there's our two equations. How would you solve this time? Substitution or elimination? Elimination? And what would you do to do elimination? Which letter are you going to eliminate, P or M?
Either one.
One's a lot easier than the other.
I think the one on the, oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
If I were going to do elimination, I would eliminate P. Because to eliminate P, I could simply multiply this equation by -1, and that would give me a negative P there and a positive P there. When I add, they would add up to 0. But I don't think I would do this one by elimination anyway.
Yeah, because they're already on the ones that might have.
This one's already got P all by itself, doesn't it? So if this one already has P all by itself, I would just take it and plug it into the other one. The other one also happens to have P all by itself. That's just a happy coincidence and a convenience. So I wouldn't use elimination on this problem. I would certainly use substitution. I would take, this one already has P all by itself, so I would plug it in there. 13.95 plus 0.03 M equals 9.49 plus 0.04 M. How would you solve? Well, what I want to do is I want to get the M's on one side and then these numbers on the other. So I think I would probably minus 0.03 M. Put the M's over there on the right. 1395 equals 949 plus 0.01 M. Subtract the 9.49. $13.95 minus 9.49 is $4.46. I divide both sides by 0.01. I get M is 446 minutes. So what does that mean? If I make long distance calls and I talk for exactly 446 minutes, what's going to happen?
Both the phone bills would be the same?
Both the phone bills would be exactly the same. And then it asks if you expect to use more than that. So what if I think I'm going to go over 446 minutes? Which company should I choose?
You should choose Splint.
I should choose Splint. If I'm going to go over 446 minutes, I should choose Splint. How come? Because it's the less per minute. If I was going to go under 446 minutes, then I should choose Horizon because it's the cheap one to get in the house. Correct. Questions on that?
So now if I were to plug that 446 in, it would come out as 446 too?
No, if you take 446 and plug it in, you should get an answer there. It won't be 446.
Yeah.
And if you plug 446 in there, you should get exactly the same answer. I don't know what they are. I didn't bring a calculator today, so.
Because I would definitely do that.
It would be a good idea to check just to make sure that you did it all right. All right, how about number 3? A person plans to invest a total of $7,500. she will invest in both an account at 5% annual interest and an account at 12% annual interest. How much should she invest in each account so that the total interest in 1 year will be $515? If I can split my money up into a 5% account and a 12% account, why wouldn't I just take all my money and put it in the 12% account? Wouldn't I make more money that way? Gambling on what?
Gambling on the 12%, I mean, they might end up losing too, right?
Well, in this case, I think the accounts are guaranteed. I think is what they're implying here. So I'm guaranteed 5% on one account and guaranteed 12% on the other. Why wouldn't I take all my money and put it at 12%?
Because you're getting more if you're getting 5% and then you're getting 12% for the rest of it, right?
Yeah, but if I have all of it at 12%, I get more money. So why would I split them?
Because she's not smart.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have a math. No, there's a reason. Actually, what has to happen generally to earn a high interest rate?
You have to make a high investment.
First off, you have to make a high investment. Secondly, typically you're not allowed to touch that money for a period of time. So if you want to invest in this 12% account, quite often you've got to invest your money and you have to leave it there and you can't take it out for maybe 5 years. And so maybe you're not willing to take the chance and have all that money locked up. Maybe you're thinking, you know, the $7,500, my car might break down, so I might need to be able to access some of this money. So maybe you put some of it at 5% so you know you can access it if you need to. So that's why people would split money like that. To get a high interest rate, you're usually locked. You usually cannot get your money back for a long time.
Unless they charge you a fee to get it.
They will charge you very large fees,
Yeah,
correct.
And
And
CDs and they charge me a lot to get some out.
in which case you probably lost money overall.
Yeah.
You would have been better taking your money, stick it in your pillow from the beginning rather than taking it out early. Yeah. So that's why. So people always wonder that. Why didn't you take all the money and put it at 12%? Well, you could, but it might not be your best deal. All right, so once again, I asked the question. What are we looking for?
How much should she invest in each account so the total interest in 1 year will be $515?
Correct. So what we're looking for is how much money did she put in each account? So again, we need how many letters? 2, because we have 2 accounts. What do we want to call the letters?
A, B.
Yeah, I don't think it makes much difference in this case because it's just account number 1 and account number 2. So instead of A and B, I'm going to use X and Y because that's what we usually use. So I'll let X equal money invested at 5%. And Y equals money invested at 12%. All right, well, this has gotten to become pretty common now. We have 2 variables. If we have 2 variables, how many equations do we need?
2.
We need 2. Anybody got an equation for me?
X plus Y equals 7,500?
Why does X plus Y equal 7,500?
Because they just want to know how much you put in your 5% account and how much is in the 12% account.
Right, because X is money, right? So this is how much money I put in one account, how much money I put in the other account. That's how much money I have. So I agree completely. X plus Y, the money from the first account plus the money from the second account, has to be all the money I had. All the money I had was $7,500. So there's one equation. Anybody got another one? Well, the other one deals with interest. If you're earning 5% interest, what does that mean? Let's make it real easy.
You get 5% of that money a year, right?
Yeah, let's say X was $100. Make it real easy. If X was $100 and I told you you're going to get 5% interest, how much money would you make?
$5.
$5. And how'd you get $5?
0.05 times 100.
You take your amount of money, which is 100, and you multiply by your interest rate, which is 0.05. So now instead of telling you the amount of money is $100, I'm telling you the amount of money is just X. If the amount of money is X, how would you figure out how much interest you're going to make? you would take your money and you would multiply by your interest rate. So 0.05x, that's how much interest we earned on the first account. How much interest did we earn on the second account?
0.12
0.12,
X.
not x,
Or Y, my bad.
plus 0.12y. So this is interest from the first account, plus the interest from the second account has to be how much interest we earned for the whole year, $515. Questions on that? Now we make a decision. Do we wish to solve by substitution or do we wish to solve by elimination? Elimination this time? Okay.
Oh, no, wait, never mind. I don't think so.
Change your mind? You want to go substitution?
I don't know what I want to go.
You don't know what you want.
I think substitution is what I want.
Elimination.
You'd have to, because the variable's not alone, so I think it would have to be elimination.
I think either method would work very, very well. Looking at this first equation, can I get x all by itself or y all by itself pretty easy?
Sure you can.
Sure I can. Could I eliminate the x's? If I wanted to do elimination, sure. I could multiply this top one by negative 0.05 and then add to there. I think either method would work really, really well here. Personally, I think I'm going to use substitution. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to write y as 7,500 minus x. And then I'm going to take that and plug it in right there. I think either method will work. I don't know why I chose substitution. I just did. 0.05x plus 0.12 times 7,500 minus x equals 515. 0.05x plus, what's 0.12 times 7,500? 900 minus 0.12x is 515. Add those together. 0.05x minus 0.12x, that's minus 0.07x, plus 900 is 515. Subtract the 900, 0.07x is 515 minus 900 is 385. Negative 385, because that's a negative 0.07 also. I forgot two minus signs. I would have gotten very lucky. I forgot two minus signs. I would have got the right answer. And it happened very often. You make two mistakes, you still get the right answer. Divide. X is 385 divided by 0.07.
2,264.
2,264.
0.7005882.
Well, this is money, so let's round it off to two decimal places.
So 71 cents, I guess.
71. Okay. And then y would be, I would take 7,500.
Yeah, I got 5,500.
I like your answer a lot better, so I'm going to go with that one. 5,500. That's a much easier number for me to work with. We take 7,500, we subtract 5,500, we get 2,000. I can do that one in my head. Oh, you multiply them instead of dividing? Something. Questions on that one? All right, going to the back side. I'm going to skip number 4 because it's pretty similar to what we just did. Let's go down to number 5. What does a 30% lime solution mean?
Solution is supposed to be 30% lime.
And what's the other 70%? Probably water. So if I told you you have you have 10 ounces of a 30% lime solution. What does that mean? How much lime is there and how much water is there?
3 ounces of lime, 7 ounces of water.
This would mean 3 ounces of lime, 7 ounces of water. Okay. All right, so that's going to have a lot to do with 6 and 7. 6 says, how many quarts each of a 16% antifreeze solution and a 24% antifreeze solution must be mixed to make 8 quarts of an 18% antifreeze solution?
Four and four.
4 and 6.
9 and 1.
I'm gonna stick.
Are we just throwing numbers out?
Well, 4 and 4 would equal it right out though, wouldn't it?
I believe the correct answer is 4 and 4. Why?
Well, because 24%, like it would just bring up to 16%, just a couple, I think, shouldn't it?
Oh, I take it back. 4 and 4. I don't think is the right answer.
It'd be 20% if it was 4 and 4.
Right, because if it was the same, if it was 4 and 4,
Right.
then it would be halfway in between these two, which would be 20%, not 18%.
Okay.
So I don't think it's 4 and 4. What are we trying to find?
How many quarts is 16%? How many quarts is 24%?
Correct. How many quarts of each? So we want the number of quarts of the 16% solution, and we want the number of quarts of the 24% solution. So what do we want to call those? What letters do we want to use? X and Y. All right, so X is number of quarts at 16%, and Y is number of quarts at 24%. Now what? I need 2 equations. Absolutely, I need 2 equations. Anybody got an equation for me?
X plus Y equals 24.
X plus Y equals something, but it's not 24.
X plus Y equals 8,
Why does X plus Y equal 8?
because X and Y are quarts.
X and Y are quarts. So quarts plus quarts has to be quarts. So I think there's my first equation. X plus Y is 8. Quarts plus quarts has to be quarts. That was the easy one. Anybody get the hard equation?
16x plus 24y equals 18, isn't it?
You're very close.
Or point 16 plus
0.16x
plus
plus 0.24y equals
Or no, point. No, I got it. 20.
0.18. That's very, very close. And let's talk about what's wrong here. What does 0.16x represent?
Doesn't.
Okay, so back up here. When I said you have 10 ounces of a 30% lime solution, we took 10 times 30%, and that gave us 3 ounces of lime, correct? We've done the same thing here. I took the percent, which is 0.16, and I multiplied it by how much I have. What this tells me here, this is amount of antifreeze. That's how much antifreeze is in the first solution. What's the rest of the stuff in the first solution? The other 84% of the stuff is water. That's correct. So we have amount of antifreeze from the first one. What's this one?
Oh, you're just supposed to subtract it.
Nope, we're supposed to add it. So we want the amount of antifreeze from the first one plus the amount of antifreeze from the second one. So here we have antifreeze plus antifreeze, but this is only a percent. Antifreeze plus antifreeze can't equal percent. Something's missing over here.
X, Y?
Not an XY.
Well, Y.
Not a Y.
X.
Not an X. Not a letter. The 8.
Oh.
Why the 8?
Because that's the amount.
Because that's the amount. Notice what we did here. We took percent times amount. We took percent times amount. So on the right hand side, when I get all done, this is my final percent times my final amount. And this is probably the biggest thing right here that people forget. On the left hand side, you're doing percent times amount. Percent times amount. On the right hand side, they tend to just put the percent over here. They forget to multiply by the amount. So your final percent is 18, your final amount is 8. So that gives you your total amount of antifreeze when you get all done. Alright, so that was kind of a harder one to get our equation. We have our two equations. Once again, which method do we want to use to solve? Substitution or elimination? Either is fine. Typically, if either is fine, I usually go with substitution. Y equals 8 minus x. I'm going to take that, stick it in right there. That'll give me 0.16x plus 0.24 times 8 minus x equals, I might as well multiply here.
1.44.
How much?
1.44.
1.44. Distribute, simplify, so on and so forth. 0.16x plus 0.24 times 8. 1.92 minus 0.24x equals 1.44. 0.16x minus 0.24x minus 0.08. Yes? Minus 0.08x plus 1.92 is 1.44. Minus 0.08x is 1.44 minus 1.92 is 0.48, negative 0.48. I divide negative 0.48 divided by negative 0.08. 6. So y would have to be 2. So I need to have 8 quarts of the 16% stuff and only 2 quarts of the 24% stuff. I add them together and I will get my 18% mixture. Questions on that? All right, last one. A chemist needs 6 ounces of a 20% alcohol solution, but only has a 24% alcohol solution. How many ounces each of 24% solution in water should she mix to make the desired 6 ounces of a 20% alcohol solution? So basically you need a 20% solution, but you only have a 24% solution, so you're going to cut it with some water. How much water do you need to add? Okay, so what are we looking for in this problem? Well, the 20% is what we want to end up with. So we need 6 ounces of a 20% solution. So I think we have all the information about the 20%. What don't we know?
The amount of 24% in water.
Okay, so X equals ounces of 24%, and W equals ounces of water. I use W for water because I like W. All right. Any equations you can give me?
X plus W equals 6.
Ounces plus ounces has to equal ounces. So X plus W, when I get all done, I want 6 ounces. Good. Okay. Second equation. 0.24
plus
0.24 X
plus 0.20
Plus
W.
W.
There's 0.20.
There's a 0.20 somewhere. Where does the 0.20 go?
The other side of the equation.
It goes on the other side of the equation.
Times 6.
Times 6.
And then the W.
What about the water one?
What do I think? All by itself, right?
W all by itself? Nope.
No?
I need if I'm taking percent times amount here and percent times amount here, I need percent times amount there.
The 20.20.
No, this is water.
So 76.76.
How much alcohol is in water?
None.
None. So what's the percent for water?
0 W.
0 W. Water is water. It doesn't have any alcohol in it. Its percent is 0. So it's kind of a trick question there. Well, that makes this second equation really pretty easy. The second equation is 0.24x equals, what's 6 times 6 times 0.2?
1.2.
0.12? So x is
5.
0.12 divided by 0.24 is 5.
Wait, how'd you get
It's supposed to be 1.2.
It's supposed to be 1.2. Somebody told me 1.12. I listened. I believed them. All right, so I take 1.2, I divide it by 0.24, then I get 5. That I can believe. So I need 5 ounces of the 24% solution. And how much water do I need?
1.
Just 1 ounce. So take 5 ounces of the 24% solution, cut it with 1 ounce of water, and you will have a 20% solution. Questions on that?